Hi friends, I think we all know why we're here today, you absolute sickos. It's time for another list of disturbing movies, and these ones are perhaps the bleakest films you've never seen. All of these films today also have a common theme, and that theme is leaving. Whether that be escaping horrific situations, toxic people, or being forced away. I think that these are some of the most disturbing films to date for me, which is saying a lot. Especially the last one, which made me cry. And honestly, when I say disturbing, I mean it. You should watch these at your own discretion. Don't come back here being upset with me. You clicked on the video, you wanted it, you absolute freak. Many of the films in this video I've never discussed before. I always try and include different films that you have not heard about. So you won't find all of the regular ones on these lists. I've made plenty of disturbing videos, and this is just a new one. This is a regular occurrence for my channel. You know I like to bring you something new you've never seen. Let's dive in. Shall we? One of the most harrowing stories of domestic violence, Once Were Warriors, is a masterful New Zealand film that does not hold back. The reason it's so hard to watch is because of how realistic it is. And it doesn't give you a chance to even catch your breath. It's straight to the terror. The horrific drama is the story of a Maori family crippled by poverty, bigotry, and the cycle of violence they just can't seem to escape. Beck lives in Auckland with her children and abusive husband. The movie takes place over several weeks where we catch the everyday occurrences and how normalized violence is in their life. Along with the justice system and street gang protection, Beth endeavors to shatter the cyclical pattern and forge a better life for her children. The film sheds light on the challenges she faces. My next two have been recommended, and they happen to be recommended by two of my Patreons. So I want to give a small shout out to Rob and Maddie. Thank you so much for your terror. And if you at home have ever considered joining the disturbing bunch and being part of my Patreon, the link is always in the description down below. You get all kinds of perks like joining my Discord, to movie hangout sessions, and of course, bonus weekly videos for everyone. If you ever wanted to support my channel, now's a great time. The link is just in the description down below. But let's carry on. Safe is a disturbing film in a very different way. If you can't stomach violence, then this has an interesting psychological approach with impending doom and a little bit of overwhelming dread. Safe, directed by Todd Haynes, stars Julianne Moore in an award-winning role. People describe this movie as a horror movie of the soul, but it's a slow drama about Carol, a wealthy Californian housewife who seems to have it all until one day it starts slipping away and she starts to show signs of a mysterious illness. Slowly her life morphs into something else and she doesn't recognize herself anymore. And further, no one believes she's even ill. This is a dark journey of loneliness, and honestly, people interpret this film in many different ways. I personally view the second part of the film as the most important or interesting, when she meets these other people who have similar ailments. Her transition into her new normal is both devastating and riveting. If you're looking for something with existential dread, well, you've found it. I had to check out this next one after reading the review headline, calling it the most effed up movie imaginable. I'm not too sure after watching it that I'd agree with that statement, but it is one of the most captivating and masterful, disturbing films I've ever seen. The film has a really clever edge that elevates the storytelling aspect. It's a dark Swedish drama that follows a girl who is isolated for reasons we come to find out. We follow her story being mistreated by her father. They live alone in the woods with no human contact. But she tells the story of herself through telling the story of her grandmother with narration cut scenes. And instead of the past being told through flashbacks, we get these dark puppet stop frame animations, which are extremely effective. It's told almost through an innocent child's eyes because we understand visually what's happening when at times the main character may not. The story is about breaking the cycle of abuse and a bizarre situation by happenstance. How Granny changed the lives of this household forever without knowing. I rated this film really high. It's very well crafted. And another film that is exceptionally well crafted, in fact all of the ones in this list are really well done. I had to include something that also fit this list, another movie that made me cry. But it's so unforgettable, of course, Room. In a time full of drama crime that is full of splatter and twists, Room, which is based loosely on a true story, is often forgotten. but the independent Oscar winner is still as effective today as it was when it was released 8 years ago. Starring Brie Larson and Jacob Tremblay, Room is a soul-crushing drama from the perspective of two captives, the mother who was kidnapped long ago and her son who only knows Room, where they are held. Room is the perspective of the fight to survive like no other, and it diverges from the book which it's set on, but both are worth consuming for different reasons. I really enjoyed this movie, even though I absolutely love the book. They're both so different but so powerful. The movie is emotionally impactful and unsettling on multiple levels. It's one I'll never forget. A heartbreaking film I basically gave a perfect score to, but I could only ever bring myself to watch it once. Which leads me to one of the most disturbing films I've ever seen. This film is so interesting because of the lead's background, which makes him the perfect victim for some of the worst crimes to humanity. Thank you so much, Maddie, for recommending this one to me. I know it took me a while to watch it, and I don't think we can be friends anymore because, my God, I can't even look you in the eye. This movie is insane. Nothing Bad Can Happen is one of the most disturbing films I've ever seen, and kicker, it is based on a true story. In this German crime drama thriller, we follow Tor, who has been born again by a cult called Jesus Freaks. But when his life intertwines with a curious family man, he tries to do what Jesus would and bond with him and his family. But his relationship with this family tests his faith and tests the audience's boundaries. The film goes beyond all limits. The themes in this film are extreme, and just when you think the abuse can't get any worse, it revives itself for another round. The lead is such an interesting character because he puts himself into these situations like no other. His motives are just different to quote unquote the victims of these usual stories. And it makes for a gut-wrenching ride that is really well made, but pure nightmare fuel. I covered my eyes, I held my breath, and I cried real tears over Nothing Bad Can Happen, and I think you might too. Luckily, this is very loosely based on a true story. In fact, it's more inspired by from what I've researched. If you are German and know of this story, let me know in the comments. And if you do watch that one, do not come back complaining that I traumatized you. I was traumatized also making this video. If you did enjoy today's video and you like my content, why not subscribe? And also, why not check out this video? I did a recent video on Hell House LLC, making it make sense. It's very complicated, it's very messy, and I laid it all out to you with a timeline. If you want to check it out, check out that one. And also, I have a video full of everything coming out to VOD this month. Stay safe, stay spooky, and good luck with those nightmares. Bye, friends.